After the accident, I stayed at the hospital for many weeks. I spent my first week in the intensive care, where most of the time I was half asleep and screaming in pain. I was alone with different nurses who were sometimes quite annoyed by those screams, because we couldn't sleep at night. Later, I got out and could finally be with my mother, who stayed by my side the following weeks. In the beginning, I was very traumatized and saw a lot of nightmares about the accident, so I needed a lot of support and closeness. But I got so used to the care that I became very lazy and didn't like to do the things I was told. My comfortable side took over and I just became dependent on others and their nurture. A doctor warned me about my future if I didn't take action, but I didn't really understand these words. I didn't think about the future at all. I just wanted to rest and be with my mother. I still got out of the bed quite soon though. I started to practice moving with a wheelchair, although it was very hard for my back at first. My legs didn't move at all, only my thigh muscles twitched a little. They were also in plaster casts, so I couldn't do much anyway. And because of a spinal injury, I also lost my bladder function, so I couldn't even pee on my own. One day my classmates came to visit me at the hospital. I was happy to see them and their pictures what they had drawn for me. It seemed they really missed me and wanted me to come back to school again. But something felt strange, and soon I started to feel uncomfortable. Someone asked, why did I have a towel on my legs? I started to feel embarrassed and didn't want them to look at me with their confused eyes and make comments about my body. I wanted them to leave me alone. This was the first time I felt I was different than everybody else, that there was something wrong with me. I continued to spend many weeks in solitude, and only my mother or father was usually around. I didn't see my friends for a very long time, and my social skills were slowly starting to disappear. I believe that mentally I got even younger than 9 years. My life had changed so much that my previous identity was slowly fading away. The boy, who had often acted as a leader for other kids, was turning into a fragile child. A day arrived when it was time to remove a plaster cast from my legs. I hadn't seen my legs from the knee down even once after the accident, so I didn't know what to expect. But when I finally got the chance to look at them, my naive hopes of continuing my normal life were shattered at that single moment. I didn't recognize my legs anymore, because they were extremely atrophied. I burst out crying like I had lost something very precious to me. The emotional pain I felt was indescribable. It was one of the most shocking moments of my life, and a big portion of my remaining self-confidence was lost at that day. I was only a 9-year-old boy who didn't know what to do with all those feelings. Everybody wanted me to train hard and take care of myself, but there wasn't any willpower left in me. I didn't have the strength to take on such a huge challenge, so I was forced to do all the work by my mother. Of course, these half-heartedly done exercises weren't enough, but at least I could improve a little and not stay completely inactive.